Hello everyone and welcome back to the course. So I hope all of you got to play with a little bit of C++. We have not done anything special in our last program. We just made a program that was printing something out to the user. So today in this video, we just do a very small problem. We will try to do something a little more interesting than what we did last time. But again, very simple problem. So what we want to do is, we want to take two numbers, add them up and give it out to the user. Okay, so nothing special. We will simply take two numbers, add them and we'll give output to the user. That's it. Okay, let's get started on that. Okay, so first of all, let us create a new file, new, and then empty file. Save file. Add to number and then .cpp. Save. Okay, so let us write some code. Hash include iostream using namespace std semicolon int main, and then I am having return 0. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so let's say my first number is 10, so I equals 10, and my second number is 15, so j equals 15. Do not forget to write semicolon. So basically, what do you want here? I want the system to give me some memory in which I can store my data. So first of all, I will get some memory, I will store some data in it, and after some time I will have to access that data. So we call this storage, this data, variables. So what do we want? We basically need some space. We want the system to give us some space. We want to name it something and we want to put some data inside it. Why do we want to name it? We want to name it so that later on, when I want to access that data, I have a way to do that. Okay, so let's see. Build and run. Okay, so there is an error and we can read the error statement here. I was not declared in this scope. This basically means my compiler doesn't know what is I. Okay, so why this error is coming and how we can resolve it? Okay, see, if I want to store some data in my brain, I have to do nothing special. I just need to say, hey, please store 10, and it will be stored somewhere in my brain. Similarly, hey, store 15, and it will be stored somewhere. But to store data in a computer, we need to do something extra. Okay, so let's see what extra work we have to do. So for storing data in our computer, we have to tell two more things. What data you want to store and how much space you want for storing your data. In this problem, I want to store integers. And now I have to tell one more thing. How big integers you want to store? Do you want to store 100 or let's say 1000? So these are very small numbers. Okay, so 100 and 1000 are very small numbers. They require very less space. But what if you want to store a big number, for example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a very big number and it requires a lot of space. So we have to tell our system how much space we want. We want 2 bytes or we want 4 bytes, 8 bytes, 16 bytes. Okay. So we have to tell two things: what data you want to store and how much space you want for storing your data. So in this case, I want to store integers and I want to store decent size integers. My integers will not be too large and it will not be too small. Okay, so we need to write here int. And similarly, int j. So int means integer and int is a data type. Our first data type is int. So a data type tells us two things: what data you are storing and how much space you want for storing that data. So in this problem, I want to store integers and my integers will be of 4 bytes. But how big integers we can store in 4 bytes? We will discuss it in upcoming videos. Okay, so let's solve this problem. So I need one more variable. Let's say the name of the variable is k. And what is the value of k? I plus j. I plus j. And then what will I do? I will print k because my answer is in variable k. So cout k and then semicolon. Okay, so what should be my answer? My answer should be 25. So build and run. And my answer is 25. Okay. Okay, so what if I want to change value of I? So we can easily do that. I will simply write I equals 13. For example, the new value of I is 13. There is no need of writing int again. Okay, so what is happening? My aim was to change the value of I. So I will simply write I equals 13. There is no need of writing int again. And what is happening here? I have my memory 4 bytes. The name of this memory is I and here I am having 10. Okay, so what this statement will do? It will simply write 13 here. Okay. There is no need of writing int again because we don't want to create a separate memory. We just want to write 13. Okay. Similarly, you can write like this: j equals 10. So the new value of j will be 10. Okay. So you can change the value of any variable at any time and there is no need of writing int again. Okay. So let us solve another interesting problem. Suppose I want to calculate simple interest. Simple interest calculator .cpp. Hash include IOStream using namespace std end main and then I am having return 0. Okay, so I want to calculate simple interest. Okay, so what is the formula of simple interest? Simple interest equals principal multiply rate multiply time whole divided by 100. Okay, so I need 4 variables here. Int p, p for principal. Let's say value of principal is 100 and then semicolon. Int r, let's say 10. Int t, time, let's say 5 years. And int simple interest equals principal multiply rate multiply time divided by 100, and then semicolon. So after calculating simple interest, what will I do? I will print simple interest. So Cout simple interest. Okay, so let's write code for it. Int p 100, int rate equals 10, and int time equals suppose 5 years. Int simple interest equals principal multiply rate multiply time, and then whole divided by 100. And then semicolon. After calculating simple interest, Cout simple interest. Okay, so what should be my output? Let's see. So simple interest equals 100 into 10 into 5 divided by 100. So my answer should be 50. Okay, so let's build and run. Build and run. So my answer is 50, which is 100% correct. Okay, so that is all for this video. Thanks for watching.